I'm Lindsay from Car Seat Cups. I'm going to demonstrate today the rear-facing installation with lower anchors of the Evenflo Sonus car seat. This same method is going to apply to the Evenflo Generations model, as well as a lot of other car seats with similar designs, such as the Costco Sonera Next. Also, the Evenflo Sure Ride will have a similar method. And basically, most of the techniques that I'm going to demonstrate here are going to be applicable to any rear-facing installation with the lower anchors. So the Evenflo Sonus is designed for children rear-facing up to 40 pounds, 40 inches tall, or until the child has less than an inch of space between the top of the car seat and the top of their head, keeping in mind that it's one of those maximums that's hit and then the seat is outgrown. So for example, if the child hits 40 inches before they hit 40 pounds, then the seat is still outgrown in rear-facing mode. Harness-wise, always check to see how your child fits in the seat before you install and make sure your harness is adjusted properly. The 3 slots here that are at an angle are designed for the rear-facing mode, and according to the manual, you can also use this next slot for a particularly tall child. These 2 top slots are only to be used for a forward-facing child. Your crotch buckle is going to be in the closest slot. There's 2 slots here, and the outer one is for forward-facing. And you're also going to make sure that your UAS belt is in the correct belt path, so in the rear-facing belt path. So on the side of your seat, you have this path here, that's for forward-facing, and you have this path here, and that's for rear-facing. So my UAS strap is threaded through that the rear-facing belt path, and I did that by pulling up my car seat cover and just being able to see what I'm doing. I can see that my strap is threaded through here, and the strap is also threaded in front of the crotch buckle. So making sure it's not twisted, it's threaded through. Then we're going to take the rear-facing foot, which is back here, this gray piece at the back of the seat, and we're just going to click it upwards. Now you have a Velcro strap that is required to secure the rear-facing foot. So it just goes through the little plastic slot there, and we just secure the Velcro to itself like so, and that has the seat set up for rear-facing mode. Now, there's an angle indicator on the side of your seat that's just kind of etched in the plastic, a little arrow, and that arrow needs to be parallel with the ground when you're parked on a flat surface. And I just put a little piece of painter's tape here so that you would be able to see it better. It's a good tip if you have trouble kind of seeing that angle indicator when you're working on your installation. So we start by placing the seat on the vehicle seat at approximately the correct angle. So I can see that when the seat is sitting like this, my line here is parallel with the ground. Now it's all right if this the gray foot here is not touching, it's floating, we say, that it's not touching the bottom of your vehicle seat. That's totally fine. Depending on the slope of your vehicle seat and your installation technique, you may find you need to use either a rolled towel or a pool noodle to help achieve the correct angle. So like a pool noodle cut to about 11 inches, and that would just slide right there and you would stick it underneath the little gray foot there. Depending on your vehicle, you could possibly need up to a pyramid of pool noodles. That would be fairly unusual, but it is possible. And you can also work with a tightly rolled beach towel, and that again would just slide into the crack here of your vehicle seat, and you would just rest the rear-facing foot on top of that to help get the angle. Personally, I find it's possible to get the correct angle without using either of those tools in my particular vehicle, and just with a little bit of the right technique. So I start off with the seat placed so it's at the correct angle. I'm going to attach my lower anchor. So here, remember, it goes this way, kind of like a stapler. It's going to click onto the lower anchor, making sure that your belt doesn't get twisted. Oh, there you go, so that's not twisted. Then I go to the other side and attach the other lower anchor. Needed a little bit more slack to reach. Okay, so at this point, my lower anchors are both connected, and now my last job is to tighten. Now, a lot of people are going to try and tighten by pulling the strap out this way. And as you can see, it doesn't really do very much work. It doesn't really get the seat. It doesn't really take the slack out of the belt. the trick really is to just feed this extra tail right through here, right through the belt path, and start tugging in this direction. And you're tugging while you're putting pressure on the seat. So if you take your hand and you put pressure on the crack, right here, the crack of the car seat, pushing downwards, and then with your other hand, pull the slack out of the belt. That's one way to work. You can always get, for example, a friend or a partner to do the pushing while you do the pulling on the tail of the UAS strap. Personally, I really like to, if I can, get up behind the seat and use my hips to put the pressure on the seat. So I can do that in my Odyssey. So I just use my hips up here and I put downward pressure like so onto the seat, always trying to keep maintaining that angle so I can see it, thankfully, thanks to my camera there. And now I've got my tail fed through the belt path and I'm gonna push down. So I'm gonna compress my car seat into the vehicle seat. And as I do that, I'm pulling all the slack out of the UAS belt. So depending how squishy your vehicle seats are, you may actually be able to compress quite a bit and get quite a bit of slack out of that belt. So then you wrangle your way out. Okay, so at this point you're checking your work. You're making sure that your line is still parallel with the ground, and you're checking for movement. So you're gonna use your non-dominant hand, and you're not, repeat, not yanking on the seat up here. You're not tugging it over here on the cup holders. You are tugging from side to side and front to back at the belt path where your UAS belt is coming out. So I'm gonna tug side to side. You can see it's almost not moving at all. Front to back. And you're looking to see less than an inch of movement in either direction. As you can see, I've got almost no movement. And then you put your cover back on, and you're ready to put your kiddo in. One tip that I do have for tightening the harness on this seat is once you've got your child seated, if you grab the back, the harness you grab the back of the harness here, and you pull the slack out of the child's shoulders here, and then you pull the slack out using the tail here. That really helps with what this is called a continuous harness. That helps to get a snug fit. So you're actually pulling on the harness that comes out at the back of the seat here to get it snug at the shoulders, and then pulling all that slack out using this tail. So that's it.